So Judge Cannon said no to Trump's request to delay the trial, but it was more like no for right now. Feel free to hit me up in March when I might just say yes. The judge said she understands it's not just Donald Trump who has the right to a speedy trial. The public also has that right. That's true. So the judge left the door open to delay the trial later. She said there's an unusually high volume of evidence. And she knows that Trump has criminal trials scheduled in December or scheduled in D.C. and New York that he also has to prepare for. Alicia, I do think that the judge is slow walking this case. For example, she got the motion to delay the trial on September 22nd, and she didn't decide that motion until yesterday. Trump lawyers were supposed to file their main briefs last week, but the judge gave them an extension until February 22nd of next year. She's not acting like a judge who's trying to move a case along.
Well, I think there may be some subtext to what you're saying, so you'll make it textual for me. Cannon is, of course, a Trump appointee. On other previous rulings, she has favored him overturning an appeal. There have been sort of these two core questions with Aileen Cannon. One, a question of sort of core competencies around this area of judicial review, and secondarily, a question of whether or not, as a Trump appointee, she is in fact biased. I wonder if what we have seen this week has informed your thinking on either question.
You know, she has a plausible reason for delaying the trial in that there are a voluminous number of motions and the evidence is hard to look at. Some of it has to be viewed in a secure facility. What I'm going to be really interested in is July 15th. That's when the Republican National Convention starts. If Trump wins the nomination, the campaign would go into full gear. In a criminal trial, the defendant has to be in court every day. So I don't know if Judge Cannon would actually acknowledge that Trump's campaign is a reason to postpone the trial until after the election, if she would actually cite that date. Judge Chutkan in the D.C. election interference trial has been very clear that she's treating Trump like every other defendant. The day job doesn't matter. But again, Judge Cannon has shown a lot more deference to the former president.
The day job, hearing running for president as a day job will never grow old to me. Trump, he has joined NBC, other news outlets in pushing for cameras at his D.C. election interference trial. First, I just got to know from you what you think is motivating that push.
That he knows it's not going to happen. So news organizations are appealing to the Judicial Conference. The Judicial Conference has already said it does not have the power to allow cameras in the courtroom. It's the organization that makes policy for federal courts. It said even if it wanted to make a change or an exception for the president, it would have to go through the normal process. So there's no way that's going to happen in time for the election interference trial. Trump knows that. I don't think there's any way he wants all of the evidence that Jack Smith has assembled paraded before the public. Again, especially that trial is scheduled to start the day after or the day before the Super Tuesday primary.
This calendar, every time we bring up the calendar, I'm reminded that there is truly something happening on almost every day. So let's talk about what's happening on Monday. Trump's New York fraud trial, it resumes on Monday. You got John Jr. back to testify. I wonder what you're expecting from the defense's month-long case.
So the state rested on Wednesday. The defense gets started on Monday, starting with Don Jr. So, Alicia, the defense that Trump's adult sons are using is that they got dragged into the middle of a fight between their dad and Letitia James. And they're saying that they relied on the accountants and lawyers who filed the financial statements that the judge says are fraudulent. The problem with that defense is that both Don Jr. and Eric signed documents saying they were responsible for the preparation of the financial statements. The former president also signed those statements, which again, the judge has ruled were false and misleading.